I'm thinking it's like you should let Nemesis be Nemesis and Kick-Ass be Kick-Ass. And if people think it's the greatest comic book and it makes your last project look like crap, then it's like up to the reader to decide that. So I don't know if that was like McNiven or if that was like it was like a joke.
It is probably some sort of tongue-in-cheek joke, and they think that they're being really clever.
So that's the only thing that like threw me off about the book. But I mean, it wasn't a whole lot. I think it was more action driven because I mean I do appreciate the violence. And I do appreciate the machine guns. I don't support attacking Air Force One. However, I thought it was cool if they attacked her. Because in a comic book, you can do that.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about Nemesis. I'm waiting for the next issue. I haven't been wowed.
And I'll read the next issue too. I mean, because kind of got it. But it's like
kind of got it.
Well, yeah, if we're gonna be on top of what's going on in the comic book world, I think, and it's obviously something that people are gonna be really having, you know.
So I'm sure everybody this week talked about Nemesis, and apparently everybody wants to hear what we say about Nemesis. So it's kind of one of those books where it's like,
so if you like McNiven's art,
yeah,
go read it. If you like Millar, go read it.
If Andrew doesn't like Millar,
then that's just
don't send us hate mail.
Yeah.
But
send us hate mail, it'll be fun. Alright, so next up, I would like to talk about a book that is coming to an end here pretty soon.
Like a novel?
No, a comic book, because it's a comic book show.
Has it been a graphic novel?
It has been 3 graphic novels, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's called The Sword, and it's by the Luna Brothers. And the final issue is coming out on May 12th, which should be totally awesome, because the series up to this point has been, well, it's been great. I don't know if you read any Luna Brothers stuff?
Yeah, I've actually read a lot of the Luna Brothers stuff, and I think where I started was The Sword.
That's funny, I started on The Sword too.
I think it was you that started me into The Sword.
Well, it was weird is that because we did a story beforehand called The Girls.
Okay.
And one of the guys at the little comic shop I used to go to back home, he was like, oh, you should check this out. You know, it seems like something you like, but I hated the art, and I couldn't get into it. And then the same thing when I was working with the comic shop out here, one of the managers was like, oh, you got to read this, and like I don't like the Luna Brothers stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, sit down and check it out. And
well, because did you see the Spider one? I didn't like the Spider-Woman stuff they did.
Yeah, it's their art's pretty. It's got to have the story behind it, and I think that's.
But
really
it grows on you, though.
Well, what caught me is the story actually being so good that the art grew on me. I was like, okay, no, this is a perfect.
And the concepts are original. Like the storylines,
they're great. They're
like a 2-man band.
Just rock it.
I guess so.
No, the Sword is about a girl that is in a wheelchair, and one night she's hanging out with her family, and these 3 people come in and just start wrecking her house,
killing everyone.
Going after her dad, saying her dad's like some 4,000-year-old deity or like demigod type person, and you know they're asking her dad where the sword is, and he's going, what?
And what was the deal? Like her father was an English instructor, and he used to tell stories that everybody thought were stories that he made up, but he was
really biographing.
Yeah.
It was basically just talking about his life.
Autobiographing.
Autobiography. Yeah, we're making up new words.
We do what we want.
Right?
Yes.
No, it's been totally awesome because what happens, you know, just the very beginning episode or very first issue. I'm not spoiling anything for you, but you know, they killed her family. She's in a wheelchair. She's a paraplegic, and she falls through into the basement and finds this sword, and it immediately heals her and gives her superpowers, and she just starts going after the 3 people that killed her family.
Which are gods.
Yeah.
One can control like the earth.
Yeah, they're elemental gods. There's earth, water,
wind, fire, and heart. It's like Captain Planet.
Without the heart or fire, because the fire god. Well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but the story is really, really, really good.
And the thing is the art isn't horrible. It's actually it's really good comic book art. It tells the story very well. It's very clear. So it's drawn enough to it grows on you because you get used to seeing that environment and how the characters move and stuff. But it's really good sequential art because I think the thing that people get confused about is that, like, comic book art telling the story sequentially, like, as long as it can achieve that, then it's technically good art. Like, it doesn't have to be these super elaborate illustrations, which, I mean, they are, but I mean, it tells the story. It's very good in that way.
It's a very real style. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not.
So you get over it once because the story's so good. It kind of holds its own, and you know, the art just grows on you, much like the story concepts do, and the characters and the environment, which is on paper a good comic book. I mean, I don't think it gets any better than that. I mean, and that's the thing too, is that it wasn't really appealing for me because it wasn't very like stylized art, which I'm usually into. The color, I wasn't really digging the color palette that they kind of use, which is like a very primary. But I mean, it's.
But it completely works for the story they're telling because it's such an excellent
I think too, the girls. The reason I didn't read it is I thought it was just like a girly book.
Yeah, it's like, oh, naked girls running around everywhere. I get
but it totally wasn't. The girls was like
the girls is intense. Such a great story. Like
it's like the Walking Dead.
I was yelling at it because I wanted there's one chicken there that's just mean. You just want her to be destroyed.
And if it gets
like
when you write the characters that way to where you get like you want to get into the comic book. That's where it's at. Like to me, that's a successful story. Just the whole thing comes together that way. Like you can tell when you're getting that, you know, involved.
Well, if you get that emotionally invested in a book, it's great because I mean that's what we all want, right?
So anyway, it's coming to a conclusion. It's the second to last issue of the story.
No, this is the final issue coming out on May 12th. So you can go out and pick up the first 3 trades. Maybe catch up and be right there.
So there is an end. It is collected in graphic novel. It's definitely, if you've been looking for,
it's worth every penny.
Really good story. We recommend The Sword because I'm a big fan. Wasn't originally a big fan, but totally won me over after reading it. So if you can get past, you know, the fact that it's not like
it's not like Jim Lee or anything.
Yeah,
like, you know.
but it's super cool stuff.
Check it out.
There you have it. That's today's show in a nutshell.
Well, actually, it was just today's show. Not even in a nutshell.
Not even in a nutshell. Giant nut. We're like, well, it's because we're nuts about comics. Zing! But definitely, I know we did the email segment today, so don't be afraid to send us your questions, comments, concerns, and hate mail to
www.shelflifeweekly@yahoo.com.
Yeah, so don't go to the website. Shelflifeweekly@yahoo.com. Here comes the link. Send us your emails. Tell us how much you hate us. Ask us questions about stuff like what's going on, and
we'll tell us how much you love us.
And we'll answer your emails on the show.
So you get to be famous.
Awesome. See you next week. You get stuck? Well, you wear girl jeans, so.
Oh, dude, my balls get stuck everywhere.
Oh, dude. You ready?
No.
Shit. Hey, everybody, I'm Anthony A.
Yeah, true.
We can't stop laughing.